Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today we have an absolutely massive rumor and story coming out of the LEC. Again, nothing is official yet, but this is what all of the rumor accounts, everybody on Twitter is talking about today. It is a potentially very big situation, a potentially very big change happening to the Fnatic roster, and more specifically in the top lane. Obviously, this past season, Fnatic was very up and down after a crazy offseason of losing one of their biggest franchise players in history and Reckless, having him go to G2, making the swaps in the mid lane. Some people had mixed expectations for Fnatic, a team that was very good in 2020. People were still expecting them to be pretty dang solid in 2021, but obviously this past split went very up and down for them. 5th place finish in the regular season, a 5th place finish in the playoffs, and a ton of expiring contracts in Bwipo, Hylissang, and Selfmade, I believe, all expiring at the end of summer split. It's going to lead to Fnatic making potentially some changes in the future, and in this video today, that is exactly what we're going to be talking about, a potential change in the top lane for Fnatic, a massive story for one of League of Legends' biggest and most popular teams. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, please take a second and smash that like button. I would appreciate it so much. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm, helping these videos and my channel and my content get out to more and more people. That would be absolutely awesome. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. You know, I'm keeping you guys up to date on all of these rumors, the news, the big stories. You guys don't want to miss out on any of that. With that being said, let's get right into this. So Wooloo, this is like 20 minutes ago, he tweeted out that a big player is coming to the LEC. It got people talking, it got people hyped up. You guys talk about me clickbaiting, me baiting people. This is a massive, I'm pretty sure massive clickbait tweet by Wooloo, and we'll explain all of that in a second. He said he's going to retweet in the future, so you all know what he meant. He's kind of baiting people. Wooloo, he's a guy, he likes riddles, he likes cryptic tweets and stuff, all of this, but let's get into the big story and what we're actually talking about. So he started tweeting out all this stuff, these like little riddles and all these weird tweets and everything, but one of them that he did tweet out that I want to talk about in this video is the orange circle up 2, and people are saying the only orange team in the league is Fnatic. They're saying Vitality is like a yellow or a gold or something, but the only orange team is Fnatic. The up arrow means top lane, and the 2 means potentially, as everyone's coming to figure out, potentially a second top laner for Fnatic, potentially a 6-man roster happening up in the top lane. This could mean benching Bwipo outright. Obviously, if they do bring in somebody that is then able to just compete with him for the starting spot, it could mean benching Bwipo here and there in certain games and at least seeing what's going on. But either way, this is an absolutely massive story. Bwipo is a huge name. He has done a lot of great things for Fnatic, but also as of recently, this past split, a lot of inting, a lot of not great plays, and kind of was holding back Fnatic in a lot of ways. So there's been people calling for his head. There's been people saying Fnatic should sell him. There's been people saying Fnatic should bench him. There's saying people saying that Fnatic just needs a new top laner in general. And there are now some names, rumors, and everything swirling around of who this new Fnatic top laner could be. Also, we know that Fnatic is not necessarily a stranger and will not necessarily shy away from 6-man rosters, especially in the top lane. You may remember that this is how Bwipo even got this position originally. Things are coming full circle. It was a 6-man roster with Bwipo and Soaz that initially, gave Bwipo his big break to actually break on to this Fnatic roster, to break on to big games, playing for finals, playing internationally, getting this massive opportunity for Fnatic. And Bwipo obviously made the most of that. He had some very big performances, and that ultimately led with them going with Bwipo in the long term and moving on from Soaz, who was their longtime top laner and was, a staple of Fnatic gameplay for so long. And now this same type of situation could be happening up in the top lane with Bwipo. So, then we start diving into what are the different options. This is a tweet from ZSXZ a couple of days ago, April 22nd. This got me thinking. I wasn't sure if this was a big rumor or what was going to happen, but, I reached out to him. He has been hearing some stuff behind the scenes. He said it would not be a bad idea to sell Bwipo and get SLO. Obviously, he meant SLT. He changed that later on. But this made a ton of sense to me at the time, but I wasn't exactly sure, how legit this rumor was, so I wanted to wait on it a little bit. But the idea of Fnatic maybe benching Bwipo, maybe going to the 6-man roster, or maybe selling him off, it seems like all of those options are still on the table. Obviously, we've talked about in the past couple of weeks, Fnatic being in kind of a rough financial situation with a ton of just underperformances, a ton of overpaying for players, lack of recent performances that are leaving them in a place where they kind of need some money. And again, like I said, they have those 3 expiring contracts at the end of the summer split. So with one split left of Bwipo, So if they do want to move on from him in the future, they could potentially sell him off now and maybe look to get a little bit of money. Or again, they could hold on to him. Maybe he turns around the summer split. Maybe he's still the long-term top laner for Fnatic. But bringing in a new guy can do a lot of good. Potentially, Fnatic could bring in a new top laner from like ERL or something like that, and he could be their top laner of the future, just like what happened with Bwipo and Solaz previously. But also, sometimes you bring in another guy and it motivates Bwipo. It could motivate him to be like, damn, if I don't step it up, if I don't have a good split, if I don't get my shit together, I'm going to get benched. I'm going to get kicked off this team. You know, if he does love Fnatic, if he wants to stay at Fnatic, if he wants to be there, and not only that, if he wants to prove, even if he wants to leave Fnatic, if he wants to prove to other teams that he's worth a big contract in the future, that he's worth a spot on a top team in the LEC, that he's worth a spot on a top European team in the future, then he would still need to be motivated and start stepping up and start playing good for Fnatic in the summer split. So I think this makes sense in a lot of ways, whether Bwipo is going to stay or leave. Getting somebody else in there to kind of motivate him, light that fire underneath him, or potentially just find his replacement could be a very, very big situation for Fnatic. And again, Wooloo does seem to be hinting at this is happening. Wooloo's one of the biggest rumor accounts out there. He's got a lot of the sources and stuff. But like I said, there are a lot of other accounts out there talking about it as well. So as far as these potential replacements and what could be happening, Wooloo tweeting out that a big player is coming to the LEC. He's actually, I'm pretty sure, talking about big Berlin International Gaming, the European Regional League team, and that's where this ZSXZ tweet comes in too, talking about SLT in the top lane. It's all starting to make sense. It's all starting to come together. Obviously, SLT is, I believe, Saluatu. I hope I didn't butcher that. I think it's how you pronounce it. I believe it translates to hello everyone or something like that. But he obviously plays for big. He plays for Berlin International Gaming. This would fit perfectly with all the other rumors. This would be, a new top laner for an orange team, Fnatic. This would be a big player coming to the LEC, and this is a guy who is playing on one of the top European regional leagues right now. He's playing on, he just considered one of the better top laners out there that people are really hyped up, that people are really excited about. You know, European Masters is going on right now. Big is still there, performing well. They're having a good showing. Things are going good. They recently, obviously, just won their league in the playoffs, knocking off Mouse Esports in the finals, which was, a good performance, a good showing for them. There's just so many people that are hyped up and excited about so many of these European prospects right now in so many different lanes. So I do not blame people at all wanting to go out and take chances on these guys that are playing so well in these ERLs because they're cheap and they're getting great, amazing results. You know, players are there. Everyone keeps talking about how many LEC caliber players there are out in these leagues. And if you're a team like Fnatic that is hurting financially and could use some upgrades at some positions and could use maybe a future star, you know, a guy to really build your team around in the future, which they're kind of lacking right now. You know, maybe that guy's upset. But other than that, you know, a lot of the Fnatic players are kind of underperforming. Going and getting a new top laner like SLT, or the other big rumor that is out there as well, is maybe getting Adam in the top lane as well, who is the top laner for K-Corp, which is another very, very popular ERL team and another ERL team that is doing very, very well this season. I do believe that they also won their league. I don't know why everything just turned blue. They also won their league in both the regular season and in the playoffs, taking on Misfits Premier. So it's a very, very big story. These are kind of the two main options that I'm hearing for Fnatic right now in the top lane. Again, they could bring either of these guys in. Wooloo seems to be hinting at SLT a little bit more because this would make a big player coming to the LEC. But both of these guys do seem like they're options. It does seem like at the very least, Fnatic is reaching out to some of these players to kind of see what they can land, what they can make happen. And then from there, it's going to be very, very interesting. Is there going to be a suitor out there to sell Bwipo to get a bunch of money? Is there a team out there willing to pay for a lot of money for Bwipo right now? You know, he's coming off not the best split, and in between spring and summer when rosters are mostly locked in, it's kind of an awkward time. It's kind of a weird time. Does Fnatic want to potentially lose Bwipo in this offseason without selling him off, without even getting any money for him when they need money so bad? Do they want to just bring in a new top laner to motivate Bwipo? Is this going to be a replacement? How many games is this going to happen? You know, are they going to split time a ton? You know, I don't know exactly, but this is going to be a very, very big story that people are going to be talking about. This is kind of the big latest rumor out there that, yeah, Fnatic, we know big changes are coming in the near future either way, whether it's between spring and summer or whether it's in this next offseason. Big changes are coming to Fnatic. It's going to be a ton of big stories, but again, the latest rumor out there right now is a potential 6-man roster coming for Fnatic in the top lane, potentially benching Bwipo for some games, for a lot of games, for all the games. You know, we don't know for sure, but it does seem like Wooloo is definitely going to be tweeting out a lot more stuff about this in the near future. I don't believe, you know, when I started recording this video, we hadn't gotten any new updates or anything. And still nothing else. But again, he is tweeting out plenty more LEC rumors and updates and well. So there is actually a surprising amount of big stories kind of happening between these two splits. And I'm definitely going to be keeping everyone up to date about all this. But I do think this is very, very interesting because obviously Bwipo has been a big name for Fnatic for a while. He has had a ton of great performances for them, but lately he hasn't been cutting it. It's going to be interesting to see if he can kind of regain that old form, if he can bounce back and be great. Some people, when you bring in a new player to compete for a 6-man roster, some people get mad. Some people are like, why the heck are you bringing in this guy? It kind of breaks their mental. It tilts them. It makes them play worse. Some guys who are ultra competitive, it makes them play better. You never really know what's going to happen. But either way, I think this would be very, very exciting. I think Fnatic fans should be excited about either one of these guys, whether it's SLT or Adam. They've really been making a name for themselves this season. I think they both deserve an opportunity. I think either one of them could be very, very good players. And I think it would be exciting. Again, a cheap young guy to potentially build your team around in the future. That's always an amazing, amazing asset to have. But we don't know the full story yet, but details are coming out every single day. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment down below. What do you think Fnatic should do? Should they sell Bwipo, keep Bwipo, go with Adam, go with SLT, go with somebody else? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!